Welcome everybody to another BDA transmission, transmitting live from the BDA headquarters. I'm here with King Bucho as always. King, how are you?
I'm pretty good. How are you?
Yeah, fantastic. I am the Nameless One. And today we're going to talk about, just recap what happened this past weekend in Montreal, Quebec, Canada. We had Adonis Stevenson taking out Andrzej Fonfara in a less than anticipated rematch. Took him out in 2 rounds. And man, let me tell you something about Adonis Stevenson. Say what you want about the guy. Say what you want about the lack of opposition. Say what you want about his attitude. Wearing that little crown that he got out of Burger King. He calls himself the best ever. He calls himself the best ever or the king or whatever. Say what you want about... I'm the king. Say what you want about him. The guy can downright crack.
We know this. We know he can punch.
But I mean, see how Fonfara gave him so much trouble in the first fight. Now all he has to do is connect. Boom, 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 boom.
But you're forgetting that Fonfara was just coming out of a first round knockout, if I'm not mistaken.
He was coming off a win against Dawson, so he wasn't...
man, seriously?
But it wasn't...
He got cracked in 1 round by Joe Smith, then beats Chad Dawson. Like, that's not even a...
It was a motivated Chad Dawson, I will give him that.
I don't care, man. You know what I'm talking about. And Virgil Hunter... Okay, we'll talk about that later.
Yes, but listen, what I'm trying to say here is that say what you want about Stevenson. If he catches you, whether you're Andrzej Ward, whether you're Kovalev, these guys have to watch out if they ever fight him, which I don't think they will. We'll get to that in a minute. But also, here's what I like about... This is what we always say that punchers should do, remember? Mm-hmm. You got guys like Randall Bailey, who have power, and they never throw a punch. They're always looking for the perfect punch. Yeah. Meanwhile, Stevenson, what does he do? As soon as he hurts him, boom, boom, he lets his hands go. That's what you're supposed to do if you have power. And that's what I like about Stevenson.
Well, let's analyze how Fonfara fought. Like, he came into this fight. Like, he was straight up.
Well, he's always straight up.
I don't know. This time I saw him completely different. Like, he wasn't even... I don't know how to use the word slick, but he wasn't even like moving his head or anything. He was completely straight. Adonis Stevenson saw this and he once he heard Fonfara, he just went like he went like an animal. He went on him and he finished the job. But I mean, I was very disappointed with Fonfara, especially he has Virgil Hunter in his corner. Virgil Hunter is supposed to to change Fonfara's style because man, I'm telling you, Virgil Hunter is completely overrated, man.
The guy knows his boxing, and if you want a guy that's gonna implement psychological warfare outside of the ring, he's that guy you go for. But it's I don't know how to say this. It's hard being a trainer because so much depends on whether the guy listens to you or not, and it's all about how the fighter performs. It's make or break. If the fighter loses, the trainer gets most of the blame. So, but yeah, you're right. He's after Andrzej Ward beat Chad Dawson. Everybody jumped on the Virgil Hunter ship because they thought he was going to be able to translate. It's like when
Buddy
McGirt, Tarver and Gatti had success, so then everybody always wanted to be with him.
He had like those 15 minutes of fame.
Right. And he's listen, don't get me wrong, they're good trainers. They're good trainers, but if you want to be at like a Freddie Roach level type trainer with the fame and everything, that doesn't happen very often. Freddie Roach is one of the few guys who's been able to maintain consistently that level of fame of I'm gonna go train with Freddie Roach. Guys like McGirt, Virgil Hunter, it's like they get their 15 minutes
with one fighter,
right, and then they're relegated back to just being out of the picture. I mean, not out of the picture in terms of boxing, but like the media and all that. Like right now, Abel Sanchez has Golovkin, and he's got a bunch of other fighters from Eastern Europe. But once Golovkin disappears,
we'll see if he truly is a good.
Well, Abel Sanchez is a good trainer.
He's a good trainer. I'm saying a great trainer.
Exactly. The type of guy that goes, he'll make a difference. Like but very few, like I said, very few trainers actually make a difference where you go, hey, listen, he's in his corner. Oh boy, I better watch out. Like, it's not. It's the fighter doing the fighting inside the ring. The trainer can't do it for you. But yeah, you think, what about the stoppage? You think it was a good stoppage?
Yeah, I mean.
He was done, huh?
Of course, yeah. Fonfara, he wasn't bringing anything.
Let me tell you something about. First of all, like you said before, Fonfara, he didn't move his head. He never moves his head. He's like a tall guy who fights on the inside.
He fought better in the first fight. Come on, man. Like,
yeah, he did. He just got caught this time, man. And the other thing about Fonfara is he can't take a punch. Why can't he take a punch? Have you ever seen his neck? It's like a fucking giraffe. Yeah. Guys with no neck. Like every time he gets sick.
Well, then he has to tucking his chin.
I know, and that's what you're supposed to do if you're an inside fighter.
As long as he's too straight up.
But he doesn't. Yeah, he doesn't. The guy's a little bit crazy too. Like he's very confident, so he goes in there thinking,
I'm gonna take a punch.
Even though he's been knocked out 3 times now, his first loss was by knockout on ESPN against. Was it Derek Finley? I forget the guy's name. So it was one of those fringe journeymen that can crack. He knocked him out in the 3rd round or something. Then Stevenson beats him and he drops him, but he never stopped him, right? The first one. Then Joe Smith knocks him out. Yeah. Now he knocks him out again. He's got you can see when he gets hit, his head wobbles.
It also could have been like the Roy Jones effects. Is that the Roy Jones effect?
Roy Jones.
Right? Sorry. The Roy Jones. Roy
crack
Jones.
Dealer.
Jesus Christ. The Roy Jones effect. The fact that, once you get knocked down.
I get
or knocked out, sorry. Knocked down like hard. Then after that, it's still, that knockout is still in your head. So then you get caught with a punch that usually you would have taken.
Right.
But now you can't take those punches anymore.
Right.
Also remember Vargas after the Trinidad fight, then he fought the Puerto Rican guy,
Wilfredo Vasquez. Wilfredo Rivera.
And he also got dropped in that fight. Remember, you go like, whoa, since when is he getting dropped like that easily? And that's because it stays in your head mentally.
Yeah, then afterwards you're right. It's who really knows what happens when a guy gets knocked out? Sometimes they'll react well, and sometimes, like you said, their chin falls apart.
Yeah, exactly. It's also kind of mental, man. I think it's mental.
I remember
before you could take the punch, now you can't anymore. Like, what the hell?
I don't know, man. Some say it's mental, some say it's physical. Maybe it's a combination of both. Who knows? But what we do know is that
we know Fonfara was a broken man. That's what I'm trying to say.
Okay, yeah. Well, yeah.
That's my opinion.
And did you see Stevenson? I forgot to ask you this after they were doing the interview.
Yeah. And
Jim Gray goes, "Well, who do you want to fight?" And Sam Watson was in the back.
Oh, I didn't see that. I saw it, but I didn't.
Telling him, obviously, I'll probably telling him, "Hey, listen, don't say any."
What the fuck? Yeah, I wrote something here. Like at some point, like Jim Gray goes like, "Are you gonna fight again? When are you gonna fight again?" And then he says something along the lines of, "But you haven't fought in a long time, in a year or something." And then Stevenson just goes like, I'm Superman, baby. I'm Superman. Remember that? I'm Superman, baby. It's like, what is that supposed to mean?
Great answer, right? Yeah.
Yeah, great answer. So, like, because you're Superman, you can get away with not fighting for a fucking year.
You know what somebody said when I was watching the fight? Somebody said, "Oh, he's Superman." One thing he tried to prove and do us all a favor and jump off a building.
It's true, man. Like this guy, and he loves this fucking lifestyle of fighting. I don't want to say bombs, but you know what I mean. Like, I don't want to say uses a bomb.
I know exactly.
Fighters that he can beat, getting a payday, getting a layoff, but the guy he realize that he's almost 40. Like,
I don't think he does.
He doesn't care about his legacy. Like, he just
milking
that WBC title, and he's not even calling out to Kovalev or Ward. This guy, how can he live with himself, man? Like,
because he's getting paid. That's how he lives with himself. That's all. Probably he cares about the money. Listen, like I said in another podcast, the way I see it, and I'm not justifying it, but I'm explaining it. The guy was in jail. He had his problems outside of the ring. Now he started late in boxing. He won the title late in boxing. So now he's probably thinking, "Hey, listen, nobody's gonna give me money after I'm retired." So I think what he wants to do is that's what I'm saying. I'm not justifying it, but I'm explaining the way he sees it. So, but yeah, if you're gonna be, what I don't like is, okay, go ahead and be honest and say,
they're not gonna be honest. Well, I know you said this before, but they're not gonna say it openly.
I know.
And also, okay, he's 39, 38, 39, whatever. 39. Okay, he doesn't fight for a year.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, wouldn't you try to get more fights in before you retire? You know what I mean? Like,
obviously, but he's with the PBC. He's on the PBC fight plan, which is, you fight 1 year and we'll see what we can do afterwards to get you another fight in maybe 2 years down the line. That's the PBC plan right there.
Yeah, some fighters I think do complain to Al Heyman. Probably, it's all speculation. But I don't see Stevenson like one of those guys who would be complaining. He's like, he looks just happy doing, fighting once a year,
with his crown,
every 8 months or some shit.
He looks like a little kid with that crown. Like, they gave him his treat and his Happy Meal.
He's oblivious of everything. Yeah. Holy crap.
And that's the other thing, when Sam Watson, he's saying, "I'm Superman, I'm the best. And then they go, "Who are you gonna fight?" "I'll fight." And then Sam Watson tells him, "Don't say anything." He goes, "I'll fight anybody." And it reminded me of the Chris Rock joke that he says, Holyfield is, after the 5 fights, he's like, "Oh, he's thanking God. God this, God is great, God is power, God gave me the power." And then they go, "Who are you gonna fight next?" "Well, I have to talk to Don King." And he goes like, "Well, what happened to God?" Don King is higher than God. And it's the same thing with this guy. He's Superman, but then all of a sudden when they ask him who is going to fight, all of a sudden he turns into Mr. Timid. That was that Stevenson fight. of course, we all know the Ward Kovalev fight is not going to happen this year. I mean, the chances of it are slim. Come on. And then he has to take care of Alvarez.
What do you mean the fight with one of those?
Yeah, with one of those guys. It's never going to happen.
No.
But you know what? At least the Alvarez fight, it looks like a super fight compared to the other guys he's fought. Stevenson, I'm talking about.
Yeah, no, that's a good. I mean, if you can't make Stevenson versus the winner of Kovalev Ward, then that's the fight that has to happen.
Yeah. And if afterwards, if they don't make a fight against the winner of Ward Kovalev, at least put him in there against Beterbiev. I think Beterbiev is ready now for.
Also.
But at least because it's PBC, it's the guy's based in Quebec. The fight could make a lot of money in Quebec, and it makes sense because they're both with the PBC. So just make that fight stop.
Everybody knows Beterbiev here, you know.
Everybody what?
Knows Beterbiev. Is this Beterbiev?
Beterbiev. I don't know if that's the right spell, but you know me with these Eastern European names. I don't know what the hell's going on.
Beterbiev.
Okay, so
we'll have to ask somebody who knows.
That's a perfect transition, the Alvarez fight, right? Because on the undercard we had Eleider the Storm Alvarez taking on Jean Pascal. Alvarez coming out on top with a majority decision that really should have been a unanimous decision. Let's face it. I don't know what the hell the judges were watching, but listen, Jean Pascal. I'll start with him because he's been a staple of the Quebec boxing community for a long time now. Mm-hmm. He's fought everybody. He really remember when he fought. He didn't really have a lot of experience, and he went to England to take on Carl Froch in 2008, and they traded blows. And ever since then,
hurt Froch at some point. Like remember?
Yeah, he stunned him.
He stunned him. Exactly.
But that Carl Froch's granite chin, it kept him up. But that's what I'm saying is after that, Jean Pascal fought everybody. He wasn't ever afraid of fighting anybody. Can you believe that it was 7 years ago when he beat Chad Dawson? 7 years ago. It's a long time, man, and a lot of wars.
Wait, 2010?
I think it was August 2010. Yeah. I remember that fight, and so you're thinking, whoa, it's been a while still.
Yeah,
a lot of fights, a lot of blows taken. Now he doesn't have. He's always a guy that's relying on speed and power and explosiveness. Mm-hmm. But even then, like when he would fight, let's say Hopkins, and Hopkins smart, he would judge the distance too wild. And now that speed has decreased,
he wasn't Roy Jones.
Exactly, he wasn't Roy Jones.
He had athleticism, but he didn't have so much skills.
Exactly, and now that's the problem. Now that the speed has gone down, and he was always a wild guy. Now he's just a wild guy with a little bit of speed and a little bit of power. Yeah, and he tried his darnest against Alvarez, but Alvarez just sharper jab, good footwork, and so now Alvarez is like to fight Adonis Stevenson.
What about Pascal? Though is he still like? I believe that we will see him again. But his championship aspirations, I think, are completely over. Like,
I agree, because who do you see him beating there in the top 10?
And it's not like he can move up to cruiserweight, because no. So
who can he beat at the top? Can you tell? Would you maybe Beterbiev? He'd have a chance because Beterbiev comes forward.
But I would give him a tune-up fight, like tune-up fight. Like I would put Pascal against somebody he can beat, and then put him against. Better.
He can beat, he could beat some lower tier guys and then set up one last big fight.
Yeah,
listen, guys like Gvozdyk who can box and control the distance, even a guy like Chilemba, I think, because like I said, Jean Pascal relied on his reflexes and on his speed, and now that's decreased. He's just a wild guy who goes in there trying to swing. Mm-hmm. Somebody with a good jab and good footwork and superior reflexes, they're gonna outbox him, man. So Jean Pascal, he had a good career, but I think his days are about to be, they're about to be done, man. As for Alvarez, like I said, he showed a good sharp jab, good hand speed. Now he's going up against Stevenson. Do you think that's going to be a good fight? Do you think that's a winnable fight for Eleider Alvarez?
Is that fight made though?
I think, well, more of I suppose. I mean, hey, listen, it's a good question. It's a good point because he's the mandatory for Stevenson. But you know how the PBC and Stevenson works. It's sometimes a fight's supposed to happen and then it doesn't.
I don't think they can't give him another pay aside fee, right? I think it's been enough.
Well, they could.
And Alvarez has said that he wants this fight now. He said he's been waiting for this fight for 2 years or something.
But that's the thing. I didn't even know Stevenson had the IBF title. What title does
WBC?
WBC. Okay, see, I don't. You don't pay.
You don't follow the belt. I know you don't follow the belt.
But I didn't even know that he actually had a title. First of all,
what the hell? Well,
but that's why I was thinking. I'm like, wait a minute. How come? I was always talking about in the other podcast about Alvarez being his mandatory, and I realized, like I said, I don't follow the titles. But so he's the mandatory. The IBF lately has been more stringent.
Yeah.
The WBC, on the other hand, if you pay them enough, they'll let you do whatever you want. So who knows if that fight's gonna happen? But the question was, you think it's a winnable fight for Alvarez?
Yes, I think Stevenson is old. we didn't see it against Fonfara, and we didn't see them against these other fighters that are of lesser
ilk.
class.
Yeah.
Oh, lesser what?
Lesser ilk.
Lesser ilk, yeah. I think against Alvarez, Stevenson is gonna look old.
I like how you said that.
Alvarez.
You said you went with the real Spanish.
Yeah, and I do think that Stevenson's gonna look old. Finally, he's gonna lose. And
Let me just correct you on a couple of things. You said, Stevenson hasn't looked old. He looked old against Thomas Williams Jr. He looked old against Fonfara the first time, when he
he didn't look old in that last fight.
No,
so
yeah,
I'm saying
he's
gonna look like once he loses, we will all be saying, oh, it's because, he's almost 40, blah, blah, blah.
Fuck, that power of that punching.
I don't give a fuck about that power,
But
man.
I'm just saying, if he's so lucky, this guy, because a fight could look competitive on paper, but if he catches the guy at the right moment in the first round, it's
true. I mean,
that's the great gift of being a power puncher, man. You get away with a lot of things, man.
Yeah, that's the last thing you lose.
It is the last thing you lose. And let's move on now, because there was another fight that maybe a lot of people didn't catch, but which was very significant in terms of entertainment and what it means for the cruiserweight division. We had Dmitry Kudryashov taking on a fight that maybe a lot of people didn't catch, but which was very significant in terms of entertainment and what it means for the cruiserweight division. We had Dmitry Kudryashov taking on Durodola. I'm not even gonna try and spell his first name, but Durodola was a guy who had beaten Kudryashov in the first fight by stoppage, and Kudryashov was a guy that I remember when I saw him the first time on video, prior to his first loss. I was thinking, boy, this is a...
Did you call him a Golovkin?
No, I said this is a cruiserweight version of Sergey Kovalev. Oh. Now, obviously, in hindsight, they don't have the same style, and he doesn't have the same skill set as Kovalev. But he came back against Durodola here in the rematch and knocked him out in a very entertaining fight.
Very entertaining fight. I loved Kudryashov's... Am I saying it right? Kudryashov's body shots. The left hook to the body, then he came up upstairs.
And it's quick, eh? He does it.
He's quick, yeah. But what I don't like is sometimes he lunges with the left hook. His leg, his movement, sometimes he's off balance. But he has power, he has speed, and I want to see him fight again. And isn't his fight? Well, we'll talk about who he's fighting later.
Who's he fighting later?
I think he's fighting that Latvian guy, Brady's.
Let me just...
Man, I'm not really sure. I mean, cruiserweight division is not like one of my strong...
That's the thing. It should be more...
I know,
it should be more
fuck, we don't get
because
those fights.
You think about it, this is what like heavyweights used to be. They had speed, they had power. Because everybody says...
Brady's... can you...
I'm looking at the names. I know who you're talking about.
What are you doing then?
But listen, that cruiserweights used to be the old heavyweights, and now everybody always says, the middleweights are the ones that have the speed of lightweights and the power of heavyweights. But it's really the cruiserweights that
are like old heavyweights, almost, like, you know what I mean, like when 1950s heavyweights.
Oh, you're saying Myris Brady's? Didn't Brady's beat Durodola? I think?
Yeah, he did beat him.
Okay, yeah.
TKO.
But that's the thing, hey, Game of Thrones is coming up in about a month, in a half. And really, cruiserweight division, it could be called the Game of Thrones, because that the throne is wide open, and there's a lot of people vying for it right now.
And Richard Schaefer Champions League thing there. What's it called? The World Boxing Series.
Yeah.
They will have cruiserweights.
Ooh.
And fuck, we should have written down this thing, but like they already have like 2 champions that are gonna be participating. Yeah, we have to. You know what? Let's do a podcast later about that.
Yeah, sure.
Or I'll do one.
But man, the cruiserweight division. Look, we got Woldarsisk, right? We got Makabu. We got Firat Arslan, who's still around. We got Marco Hogg. We got Glowacki. We got Denis Levdev. A lot of experience on his side. Like you said, Brady's. Tony Bellew.
No, Tony Bellew's not going.
He's not going back now?
No.
Well, he should. We got Gassiev. We got Usyk. The title is vacant. We got Kudryashov now. It's a very exciting division. Now, Kudryashov, like I said, he's not Kovalev. He doesn't throw those. His power is not really in the... I mean, look, he's got sensational power. The guy can crack. And if it wasn't for Durodola's toughness, which, by the way, fucking Maniac is exchanging with the guy.
Yeah. He's tough as hell. People who are complaining about the stoppage. There's people who are complaining about these people are fucking crazy. He went down like multiple times.
And he was done, yeah.
He was done. People are complaining.
I mean, he wasn't out cold, but he was...
People are saying, you know what they're saying? Fuck, in the comment section. they stopped a Nigerian because they knew that Nigerian. They could be using the Nigerian, the African. He was gonna make a comeback. Like, how do you know he was gonna make a? I mean, why are you getting? Maybe he was gonna get a brain damage.
Right. Let me tell you something. As I was watching the fight, I think after the second knockdown, and the ref tells him to, like, Durodola got up and he's wobbling. Hold on, he's wobbling on his feet. And the ref looks at him, and I thought, okay, he's gonna stop it. And no, he kept him going. So even the ref gave him every chance possible.
No, I also think he Durodola wanted to quit at the same.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because then the ref, after Durodola got back up, the ref goes like, put your hands up, and he didn't. And
it's a little trick.
He wasn't like. Meldrick Taylor, like he was like completely confused because he probably couldn't hear anything. He just put your hands up, and he didn't want to do it because he wanted the refs to stop the fight, and they probably go and complain like, "Why are you stopping the fight?" He wanted out, man. He wanted the fuck out.
He was out on his legs. He was out on his legs. Like his legs were broken,
man. And if the ropes weren't there, in one of those knockdowns, he would have completely hurt himself. Like, yeah. He would have fallen. I don't know what I'm saying here. I'm going ranting here.
What about these Russian production values, by the way, with the fights? You got a guy with a white suit on screaming. I don't know what the hell he's saying.
I love
he's just shouting at the crowd. It's almost like
the music and in between rounds.
The music, the people that look like they're from the Russian mafia there sitting in the crowd. And that's the thing. You look at England and you look at Quebec.
Yeah.
The entrances now here in Quebec, they're trying to make them look, for a while now, they've tried to make them look like the way they do it in England with the whole pumped and circumstance thing. They have two entrances now, right? The guy comes out.
In Bell Center?
In England too. Like, that's the thing. Steve Bunchy, one day he was saying like,
so
Bunchy, whatever the fuck. He's like, the fights in England, the fights in America, they have no fireworks, they have no. He's complaining about that. I'm like, well, what do you want? This isn't the WWE.
No, I don't like those. I mean,
they have two entrances now. They have, when the guy comes out, there's music. He comes out on a platform.
Yeah.
He stands around there
for 10 minutes or some shit.
Then they change the music, and now he comes out into the ring. So that's two introductions. Then they introduce him, in the ring. Then before that, they have the national anthem. So it's like, fuck, get on with the goddamn fight.
The fighters get all cold, and
exactly, they get cold. You don't want cold fighters.
You have to be warmed up.
You get a cold. That's like I always say. Like Bob always used to tell. Remember Bob? He used to say, when fighters get cold, the fight gets cold. Okay, so no, he never said that. But I don't even know who the fuck Bob is. I'm making him up.
Yeah.
Oh no, Coop. Remember what Coop always said?
Coop always said.
Hey, bye. But so yeah, Kudryashov is in there. He's a sensational puncher. What I don't like about fucking Kudryashov is the first fight. The reason why he got tagged against Durodola was he was doing the fucking shoulder roll.
Mm-hmm.
You're not Floyd Mayweather. It works. You can you can roll some of the time. I'm all for rolling. I love rolling with the shots. But at some point, he's standing right there in front of Durodola, and he's trying to roll with everything. You're not Floyd Mayweather. You're not James Toney. You're not Bernard Hopkins. It's not gonna happen. But he can crack, man. He also got a little tired too.
I was gonna say that. Well, then again, it was a fucking war, and they were both swinging. Yeah. But round 3, round 4, he was already tired. So,
but man, it's an exciting division.
Yeah,
the cruiserweights. Yeah. It's gonna be a sensational thing to look forward to. We should do a video. There was a guy. I should have given him a plug, but there's a user there on YouTube who does a lot of videos, very high production values, and he did one a couple of months ago about the cruiserweights, and he was like telling you all the names of who's there. And I think the cruiserweight division has always been maligned, and it always has been underappreciated. But it's got the action and the skill and the power of the heavyweight, of the old heavyweight divisions, man. But it's because it's filled with Europeans. I don't think most
that's why the
people
US and in America they don't pick it up.
Right.
That's the only reason why. But
they don't show them on American television. But anyway, in conclusion, that was another little BDA transmission featuring King Bucho and I. We're gonna keep coming with some videos. We got some videos in the pipeline for you guys. We got some best of the YouTube, of the YTBCs. What's it called? The best YTBC
it's
comments?
Basically the best comments, the funniest comments on YouTube.
Or, funniest for some, saddest for others.
It's funny. Yeah.
It's tragic, man. It's tragic. Let's reading some of those comments. We also have some videos on film analysis for Bernard Hopkins. We're gonna do a little film analysis for Sergey Kovalev Andrzej Ward, the rematch, because so many people have been doing their own film analysis. There's just not that much left to say, but we're gonna give you our own spin on it. And keep liking the videos, keep subscribing, keep commenting. We want some feedback. That's what we need. We need the feedback here, guys. Tell us what you want to see. Tell us what you think about the videos. Tell us what you think about the boxing world as a whole. be controversial, guys, because if it ain't magic, it ain't shit. So keep on trucking, and we will see you on the next one.